This video is just a quick video regarding how I was able to reverse one of the complications I got from having diabetes for many years. Hello lovelies, my name is Kemi and I would like to share my experience living with type 1 diabetes. My page essentially is basically for all things type 1 diabetes because I've been type 1 diabetic for the last 24 years. And what I like to do is just basically just share my experience and touch on things that are, that are controversial in terms of type 1 diabetes, right? I just want to talk about how I developed one of the complications of having diabetes for many years and how I was able to reverse it, right? So in 2020 I was diagnosed with background retinopathy, which essentially means that my retina is being damaged by having diabetes, right? So it wasn't a very good news for me. I was unhappy at the time. However, right after that I got pregnant, and if you are diabetic, you know that when you are pregnant, they usually monitor you closely. So I was, just because obviously because you're diabetic, your body works like 3 times as much to sustain that pregnancy, and you're at high risk of developing complications because of you're being pregnant whilst you're diabetic, right? So I was placed under surveillance for my eyes. So my eyes got screened every three months. I maintained that background retinopathy. I did not move to the next stage. It didn't get worse. It did not get better, right? So after having my child, I went back for another screening, and then it came back that in addition to the background retinopathy, I also got diabetic maculopathy, which essentially means that my macula, the central part of my vision, is also getting damaged, right? So it was a very unpleasant news. I was shattered and I felt very defeated at the time. So I decided from then on that I was going to change a couple of things about my routine and my lifestyle. So I'm just going to share the things that I incorporated into my lifestyle and that I'm still maintaining up until today, right? So I started doing exercises, particularly strength training, right? And I've seen massive difference in my physical appearance and my mental health and well-being from doing exercises that are strength-based, right? Number one. And number two, I also decided that every meal that I'm having, I add 30 grams of protein with it. Sometimes I eat 3 times in a day. Sometimes I don't eat up to 3 times in a day, depending on how much I eat. But I make sure that I have enough protein for the day. I don't have a particular target, but I just put it intuitively. I just make sure I eat protein in most of my meals. And then I decided to be doing, they do call it in the fitness world, they call it carb cycling, but I'm not going to definitely say that mine is carb cycling, although it looks like it. So some days I have carbohydrate and some days I eat low carbohydrate. So the days I eat low carbohydrates, I let my insulin run in the background. So that means if you're type 1 diabetic or you use insulin, you know what I mean. So we have a background insulin. It's called the basal insulin that works in the background. And then we have the insulin that we take when we eat meals. You calculate your carbs, and then you, based on what you calculate, you in terms of your carbohydrate, you use it to work out how much insulin you'll be giving yourself, right? So during that phase that I do low carb, I do not give myself any insulin. I just let the background one work and run for me. So I essentially just eat vegetables in different forms. I use almond flour and coconut flour to make bread and different types of pastries, just to spice things up and not let my meals look and appear very boring, And then on high carb days, I not high carb as such, but normal carb days, I eat normal carbohydrate like rice, pasta, stuff like that. And I also can incorporate sweet treats as well. But the thing is, on those days that I eat those carbs, I make sure that those are the days that I strength train. So it just balances everything out for me. So I'm spiking, but I'm not staying high, right? So just because of the physical activity that I'll do that day, it makes my blood sugar, stay significantly in range, like 80% of the time, right? So these things all together, I continued doing them for months and months, and then I went back for one of my screening towards the end of mid to the end of last year. So everything came back clear. I don't have diabetic retinopathy anymore, and I don't have um diabetic maculopathy anymore. So it's a miracle. But I just want to attribute everything to having faith in God. I'm a Christian, and I'd like to say that the motivation I got to be able to sustain this new lifestyle and this new routine just came from God, right? I just decided that, okay, this is what I'm going to do, and I need that strength. I need the motivation to stay in that routine, right? And I'd say God gave me that motivation. My faith brought about that for me, right? So I just want to put this out there for anybody struggling with their health. Like, if you've got something you want to do and you've got a faith, you've got hope, something that gives you faith and hope, hold on to it and let that motivate you to be able to carry out the practical things you need to do to be able to achieve what you want to achieve. I know it's quite difficult, especially as type 1 diabetics. It's like you're living a double life. Do you understand? You live a life of your own and you have to add an extra one that carries the weight of you being diabetic, right? Everything, every routine you want to do in your life. If you are going to work, you consider being type 1 diabetic, you consider how that affects that aspect of your life. If you want to go and take a walk on the road or on the street, you have to consider that you have, because walking alone can cause you a low blood glucose. You can run into hypoglycemia, that's having low blood sugars. So everything you do, physical activities, whatever you eat, whatever you drink, alcohol too, it affects you. Everything essentially affects you. So if you're whatever you're considering, you're going on holiday, you are going on a plane, you are going on a boat, diabetes has its own place in everything you do. So it's quite daunting. And I know that people experience a lot of burnout from having to manage all that, you know. So it's quite difficult. But if you decide that you want to be dedicated and you want to be organized and make sure you do a certain type of routine to achieve what you want to achieve, and then I've seen a lot of people live long and healthy life living with type 1 diabetes, right? I've followed a lot of people on social media. I've taken cues from people. I've looked at people's lifestyle. I've seen what they've done. I've seen how I can incorporate some certain things that they've done to improve their health in mine as well. So I just would like to build a little community where we share experiences, where we talk to ourselves. Not necessarily just diabetes. There are other diseases that are out there that people are being challenged by. So share our experiences and share things that helps us get through the hard days, the difficult days. You get what I mean, right? So I'm just putting this video out there to just help somebody. If you're struggling, I mean, just know that you're not alone going through this. There's people out there experiencing the exact same thing you're experiencing. And if you've got any questions, any comments, anything you like to share with me, I'm happy to read them from the comment section. And also I'd like for you to share and like this video, and also subscribe to my channel. The more you subscribe, the more I'm encouraged to want to share different things, different aspects of my life. Trust me, there's a lot to share. I'm a nurse. I work in a high stressed environment. I'm an ICU nurse. I'd also like to share how I manage my day working in such environment as well, right? So I just want to thank you for watching this video, and I hope this video has blessed you in some way, shape, or form. And I hope to see you in my next video. Thank you for watching. Have a beautiful day.